let's get to
the frauds.
The fun part, which is calling these dudes frauds.
Yes.
And boy, the fraud power rankings this week are very different than they were last week. A lot is shaken up. So we're gonna start at number 5, and I gotta preface, as I often do, that I do not discriminate. I do not play favorites. This is this honestly might be the most objective exercise that I do in my entire career.
Yes.
That I sometimes I will take puppies behind the woodshed. I will look them in the eye, and I will put them down. And it will not. I take no pleasure from this. It kills me to do it, but it is my job, and I have a job to do. So, at number 5 on this week's fraud power rankings, I think we have to do it. We have to start here. I don't love it, but it needs to be said. Julius Randle, number 5 on the power rankings. 2 for 15 in Game 3. Lays an absolute stinker. Played better in Game 4. The Knicks still lose. They're down 3-1. He's getting MVP chance in the Garden. He's asked about Clint Capella's comments. Says don't care before the question's even finished. Which, I think it's probably harmless in a vacuum, but I read it as like
you're
telling me you're so adamant about how much you don't care that it feels like you might care.
Yeah, you seem like you care.
But also, I'm probably just projecting. But I don't know. It fits my narrative to pretend like you really do care.
Fraud power rankings.
So Julius Randle, I think when you're getting showered with praise all season as the most improved player in the NBA and a potential MVP candidate who's not actually ever going to win MVP, like not this year, he's never going to win MVP this year. But you got to throw him in the mix. It's worth throwing him in the mix.
Yeah, top 4 seed in the East.
Yeah. And he has not been great in the playoffs. So as much as it hurts me to do it, Julius Randle, number 5.
Yeah, he probably would be number 1 on my list, but I like Julius a lot, so I'll bump him back to number 3 and number 4.
Wait till you see the rest of the 4.
Okay, all right.
The top 4. Number 4, this one hurts too. I don't love this. This one hurts more than Julius Randle, honestly, but I was thinking about his performance in the bubble last year. I'm gonna say it. Number 4 is Dame Time.
Oh wow!
It's not. To be clear, it's not Damian Lillard.
It's Dame Time.
It's Dame Time. It's the concept of Dame Time. It's the concept of the game is close. There's so much time left. I'm gonna flip the switch. And this might age horribly, by the way, that they're playing tonight. That. I close my eyes. I see Damian Lillard.
He's just like hitting a game winner, like waving by. Yes, like looking at the clock.
But after the experience we got from Damian Lillard last year with Dame Time, which was kind of, I'm trying to think if we should like revisit. Maybe this is like once the NBA season's over, revisit the bubble last year. Like make a list of like things you remember, things that stand out from the bubble. Because the Lakers winning is probably number 1. Number 2 might be Damian Lillard for me.
Yeah.
The Suns going undefeated.
He was the bubble MVP.
Just thrown in there. Yeah. He was and he wasn't just great. He was like. He was like Steph Curry 2016 great, where you turned on the TV, you knew something crazy was going to happen, and still he somehow blew your mind and took it to a level you didn't realize was possible.
Yes, and they were the underdog the whole time. Everyone was pulling for him. Yeah.
Damian Lillard was doing that basically every time you turned on your TV in the bubble. And this year, it's a 2-2 series. They play tonight, but so Damian Lillard did not have a great Game 4, but he hasn't been bad, I don't think, in the series per se. Other than Game 4, he wasn't very good, but. He has not. Dame Time has not existed. There's not been like I'm going to take this over. I'm going to score 17 points in the fourth quarter, and that has not happened yet.
It could be Game 7 in this series.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah,
it could come. But right now,
based on the fraud power rankings,
right now,
that's where we sit.
That's where we sit.
Yeah.
Number 3 is whoever loses the Suns-Lakers game tonight.
Yes.
Either way.
Yeah, exactly. It's been
Whoever
a seesaw.
loses
I don't know who is going to
fraud.
lose the series, but after Game 1, it was the Lakers dead to rights.
Yep.
After Game 3, the Suns were dead to rights. After Game 4, the Lakers again are back to dead to rights. So, is it over? Yes, it is over. We just don't know which way.
I think Chris Paul, he kind of handled this beautifully, but he might have shot his wad too soon. Where now we're the excuses are out though. Like the Suns have arrived to the table. Now you have positioned yourself to be frauds if you don't win.
Now the spotlight is shining in Phoenix.
If the Suns lose the series, given the circumstances before what we saw in Game 4, Tate, I think you wouldn't call them frauds per se.
No, you just be sad that Chris Paul got hurt.
Yeah, Chris Paul got hurt. The Lakers are, they're the defending champs. They sandbagged it all year. That's not fair that the Suns had to play the Lakers
them.
and there's a lot of ways you go. Now that the series is tied, now that Anthony Davis is hurt, the Suns have positioned themselves to be frauds if they lose tonight.
Yes. Perfect. Makes sense.
But if the Lakers lose, also
frauds, yes.
Number 2 on the fraud power rankings. The Los Angeles Clippers have lived on my fraud power rankings, I think, every single week since I've started them last season. And they are going to live on the power rankings for another week, but in a weird way because I'm putting the Los Angeles Clippers haters at number 2. They are in shambles. The Clippers are back. The series is just as done as it was a couple days ago, only now it's done in the opposite.
The other way, yes.
So all the Clippers haters, I'm not going to name names, but there are a lot of people out there, a lot of our colleagues, we'll say, are getting their rocks off on throwing dirt on the Clippers' grave. I certainly never did. Never once.
Never. They were just in the fraud power
And now
rankings.
all of you that were so sure about the Clippers are going to blow it up, Kawhi Leonard's going to go to Miami, this, that, and the other, you're all frauds.
Yes.
Every single one of you. You're frauds.
Yes.
You're the number 2 frauds. And speaking of Miami, that brings me to number 1 fraud.
Yes.
Heat culture.
Yes. Please.
The Miami Heat culture.
R.I.P.
Frauds.
R.I.P. That's literally how it feels.
The number 1 frauds.
In the club in Miami, just listen to Jeezy say R.I.P.
Not just swept by the Bucks, Tate.
Yes. Worked.
Humiliated by the Bucks. Absolutely worked. If I don't know.
I love Heat culture, number 1.
It's not the Miami Heat. It's not it's not individual players. We're not going to do that. We're not going to name names. We certainly, because we start naming names, we might get carried away. We might name names we don't want to name.
Yes.
We might start throwing out too many names.
No.
And we certainly don't want to go down the roster and start naming names.
Definitely not.
So we're gonna name the Heat culture, the whole vibe, the all the goodwill that was built inside the bubble has been taken away.
Yes.
Jimmy Butler's coffee.
Individually, everybody is great.
Yeah, everybody's great.
But the culture.
But the magic.
Yeah.
The not the Orlando Magic. The Miami Heat magic built in Orlando. Jimmy Butler's coffee shop.
Yes.
The Jimmy Butler Michelob Ultra commercials.
It's now Anthony Davis.
Yeah. Yeah. Other stuff that we remember. All of it gone.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero, the snarl he makes.
Gone. Duncan Robinson making shots.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it.
I know, but that's
Bam Adebayo, as you said,
blocking Jason Tatum. You know, to win a series. Gone.
All of it's gone. Heat culture gone.
Jay Crowder gone.
Do we think the bubble was the fraud all along?
Yes.
Because if the Lakers lose in the first round and the Heat are swept, you got to look back on the Mickey Mouse situation.
It goes back to Mickey Mouse, and I think it honestly, like you said, we need to revisit the bubble. I think we need to wipe it. I think it's a separate championship. I don't think the Larry O'Brien should be tied to the bubble. The Larry O'Bubble trophy.
I take it all back. I am going to name names. I think the real problem with Heat culture this year, the real fraud, Caron Butler.
Oh.
Who was counting down Giannis game 1 with the free throws.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
And then I don't know. Where was Caron Butler? Could he have counted better?
He was also a new addition to the staff this year.
Yeah.
I love Caron Butler, so I won't blame Caron Butler, but you're right. He's the fall guy. I think he might be the fall guy.
Somewhere Michigan fans are hearing me rip on Heat culture, and they're like trying to connect it to Juwan Howard leaving, and that's the reason.
They're very upset.
Juwan Howard took Heat culture,
yes,
applied it to Michigan.
It was the same thing as the league in good hands. You know, I mean, Heat culture was in good hands, and then Juwan Howard took it.
Even though he was at Michigan last year and they went to the finals.
He said, "Mine."
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's our culture.
It's still. So that's it. That's your fraud power rankings.
I think Heat culture number 1 is perfect.
Yeah, Heat culture is number 1.
Hey there, thanks for watching Titus and Tate. For the full friend of the program experience, subscribe right below and come join us for all things college basketball. The action is heating up. Come join Titus and Tate.